Kia ora, ko Essa May Ranapiri tōku ingoa. Here's my poem. The air is thick with solidarity. I'm going to start with breathing. What I push out of me, what you push out of you, and what we push out of each other. Lungs working like billows, lungs working. Sounds you could read on the ear is angry now. They pulled him up out of his brick, that bronze man with no business being here, having never set foot in the Waikato, removed due to the concern over the structural integrity of the building below. Are we to be weaved together, stitched, slowly through veins dripping out of our bodies? They are hungry for us. We are hungry for change. My friend posts on Instagram about getting Marx's capital tattooed on the back of her hand. He waka ekanoa is meaningless when used by government agencies that continue to promote divisions along lines of class and race and gender. What waka would float on such hypocrisy? I can see it in the Waikato now, taking water, bowing down to the spirits there as the metaphor drowns. How we are one can just look like under the thumb of the crown. We're all in the car headed back to Ihumātao, our friend driving us through the lights of oncoming cars so bright that you can see nothing behind them, just the whir of metal. Strangers passing, there is just mist pressing its visual fuzz into the land. We all feel safe in it, regardless of the speed. I read somewhere online about 3 ways of living kotahitanga today. The first, kotahi, is donating to a charity. A surfer dude representing the Red Cross showed up at my door the other day, 2 years ago. He asked why I was wearing a dress. He asked for my dead name so that I could pay them $20 a month. Just don't drink as much coffee, they said. Wow, weird. Why do you want to be a woman? They said. I don't drink coffee, I said. And why don't you? I said. It leaves my bank account automatically. Phone calls scare me so much that I haven't cancelled it yet. Tuarua. Join a sports team. I tried to play cricket once, fell asleep on the field and got hit by the hard red ball as it plummeted from the sky. What a wake-up call. Tuatoru. Say hello to a stranger. I had my headphones on, but I think she said good morning. None of those options will shake the foundations of this settler colony, and I'm sure that is intentional. All token gestures are designed to be inoffensive, pull the teeth out of our tikanga, just try to avoid touching the head on the way in and out. It's all connected. Despite how cut off colonization would have us pretend to be, I swear you have more in common with this English poet from the 1600s than the Māori man who walks past the gym every morning at 7. His hair is silver as the ghosts you saw rising from the whenua. Black lives fighting police brutality in so-called Australia, hereby known as the continent, flattening into one thing is not unity. And the black lives fighting in the streets, making peace with the land that has been stolen from Indians all across Turtle Island. We know how to fight as well. We have had to for so long. Us versus pipelines, versus housing developments, versus gold mines, versus tourist attractions, versus the crown and all its armies, versus police brutality, versus more mines, gentrification, all that drink, introduced species, poverty, 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 poverty. Statues coming down the world over of old dead racists while all the living ones line their pockets, but we've got this. We've got to. A tweet that says, there are so many of us, aren't there? In our little group, we rap squat where Hamilton once was. Aside for wetness on the bricks, there is no sign he was ever here because he wasn't. We ask two strangers to take photos of us on an old camera. We can only look at the image once the film has been developed. After giving a speech at the Black Lives Matter Solidarity March, Akuya, so potent in her power, gripped me by the arm and held onto something that I hadn't felt yet. Until that moment, and when we pressed our noses together, the whole thing just slid into place. A breath shared, that mingling of carbon dioxide, oxygen, and nitrogen creates a meeting house for all the lines of our dead, past and present and future, to get to know each other and come up with a plan.